Now let's rewind it and say you're really early, you've just started your e-com store. You haven't even chose your products yet. Some of you are watching this video right now who've started your store, you've built it, but you haven't probably put the actual products into the pages, into the back end of your Shopify, your WooCommerce, and you're still trying to figure out, right, what niche do I actually target? So you've clicked this video because you've started an e-commerce business and everybody tells you how easy it is to start a company, start an e-com brand and get results, but no one actually tells you really effectively how to get those results. I'm Aaron Branch, so I've been running a social media marketing agency helping e-commerce brands now for 6 years. And in this video, I'm going to be dropping you all of the tips, tricks, and hints on how you can immediately increase your sales and what's working right now in 2021. So what are the best platforms to drive traffic to your e-commerce store? That is the #1 question that we get asked by clients every single week, every single month. And that for us, my friends, no secrets hidden here. It's Facebook and Instagram, and specifically Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, why do we prefer this method rather than places like YouTube, Pinterest, Etsy, Amazon, eBay, all these different platforms? The reality is that you need to go where the attention is. When your audience is scrolling through social media, thinking about nothing other than can they be entertained, does your product appeal to solving one of their problems, or the products that you're selling on your e-commerce store, does it hit home, grab their attention, and really want to drive them to making an action of making a purchase on your website? There's no place we've seen that holds attention more effectively than Facebook and Instagram when it comes to direct to consumer e-commerce brands. And it's different for platforms such as YouTube, where long form content, people are paying more attention, just like you are here right now to learn. But that's exactly it, you're here to learn. You're not necessarily here and open to making a purchase right now on the spot. If you are, check out the link below. But e-commerce, that's what it's all about. It's about giving solutions to people's problems through your products. And the best platforms we found, like I said, is Facebook and Instagram, simply because that's where so much attention is. Does this work for drop shipping, or is it just direct to consumer brands that are, creating products themselves? Or does it work for drop shipping where you're selling effectively other people's products on your store and having those sent directly from a warehouse or a fulfillment center to your customers all around the world? And the great answer about this is yes, of course it works for drop shipping. It's all about, with e-commerce businesses, getting really highly qualified traffic interested in your offer, retargeting that traffic at scale, and then measuring the performance that comes out on the other end, of course, in sales. But the other metrics that are super important before that sale takes place, of course, are your initiate checkout, your add to cart, and then of course your page view or your view content. That's a funnel within itself. Now, where do you start with your e-commerce brand? That starts, my friends, with creating a customer avatar. It's the first place. I have a 20+ team, and it's the first place that all of my delivery teams start when it comes to onboarding a new client. It's about creating multiple customer avatars that we can figure out how to get in the mind and win the hearts of through our advertising campaigns. Now, if you've never heard of a customer avatar before, I want you guys to check out a resource on Google. There's many of them, called an empathy map. Type into Google an empathy map and it will give you 4 main categories to fill out about a potential customer for your e-com business products and offers, right? That's what it's about. If you've got multiple products, they might be for different people, different genders, different backgrounds. That's why you can create multiple customer avatars. And then when it comes to just having those out in front of you, you can choose which ones you feel, based on your educated guess, because that's all it is in the beginning before you've got any data. It's a guess. You can base your decision on that guess on what you feel would be the best audience, based on all the data you have from your own research, from your own understanding, your competitors, other e-com stores who are selling the same products. You can use that all to make the best guess on which avatars you should be targeting from the beginning of your campaign. Now let's rewind it and say you're really early, you've just started your e-com store. You haven't even chose your products yet. Some of you are watching this video right now who've started your store, you've built it, but you haven't probably put the actual products into the pages, into the back end of your Shopify, your WooCommerce, and you're still trying to figure out, right, what niche do I actually target and what problem do I try to solve with the products that I choose to put on my store, right? Some of you are resonating with that. I'm sure of it. If you are in that position, do you go for a niche which has been hammered and has been completely oversaturated, or do you go for something much more narrow, specific, and targeted because you want to try and see if there's an opportunity to sell something which people may not have clocked onto yet? My answer to that, my friends, based on 6 years of experience in this, is both are equally as effective. However, if we're going away from dropshipping and we're just talking about e-commerce, if you've got your own direct-to-consumer brand, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. If you see that there's demand in a marketplace, double down on that demand and start fighting with your products for that market share. You don't have to create something brand new and try and create a marketplace from your product which no one's already buying simply because you're trying to be too cute with building your business. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. Now, a couple of ways to market your e-commerce brand products to the marketplace. Number one is you can start direct outreach. Guys, this is totally underrated. Start direct outreach and start showing your product to the marketplace. However, that method is completely unscalable because it requires so much human labor, or you might use bots and get your account banned. So then you've got another route, you've got paid ads, but usually your budgets are going to be quite stiff and tough to work with in the beginning if you're a startup and you haven't gone through a crowdfunding round like we did for Deliver Me in raising 250k to get the company going. You need to look at how can I leverage how great my product is in the marketplace with people who are already in that marketplace. Influencer marketing, it's very, very difficult to get a massive ROI when you're spending and you're paying for huge amounts of influencers to promote your products. However, this is where you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur, people. You have to start bringing some edge to your marketplace to get better deals. Go and negotiate and find a short list of influencers directly and negotiate potentially a 50-50 revenue share of anybody who buys from their audience your products. And of course, maybe set up something like an ambassador scheme where you can give them the products and name them as an official ambassador, and you'll find that there's a lot of influencers. The top 1% take the cream of the crop and everyone else beneath is really fighting over scraps, and that is the genuine truth of it financially. So you'll find that they're a lot more open to new opportunities than you might predict. So don't be afraid, don't be intimidated. Go and negotiate some 50-50 rev splits with these influencers and get them in your product, promoting your product, using your product, because it's cheap and it can be very, very scalable. And the best part about that is they often create great content. One of the most underestimated things are how great influencers actually are as content creators. But let's say you do have some ad spend, so you've got your influencers, you've got some ad spend, you've got some budget from your own personal savings, you've got a loan, credit, you've got investors, whatever it is. What's the best paid method to go down for getting quick, instant feedback on whether your product is scalable and sellable to a particular audience? Of course, you know what I'm going to recommend is paid social media advertising, particularly Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, I could go into a whole nother video on how to do that super effectively, but the main thing I want you guys to use is your avatar to dictate the target audiences you go after. I'd recommend keeping that really small, so probably on an ad spend of no more than £35 a day whilst you're testing, if your budgets are really strict. And of course, if they're a bit bigger, you can go further and spend more and obviously get more reach and more data. Why do I recommend this? It's super scalable. If you get results from that £1,000 spend that you've put into ad spend, of course, you can then scale that very gradually using specific strategies on the ad spend to getting more reach, more impressions, and more attention from the audiences that are working the best for your business. So it's a massive advantage. If you don't have the budget to hire an ad agency to do that, guys, there's so many great courses out there, including our own here at Social Agendas. I'll drop a link below where you can learn within literally a weekend. It's called the Facebook Ads Weekender. I'll put the link below, check it out. It will teach you everything we do in spending over £15 million worth of ad spend in the last 6 years for our clients and ourselves. Now, one of the biggest things that you have to have on point and in check is your actual place where transactions happen, and that is your landing page on your store, making sure that people are purchasing, and the route to purchasing has to be absolutely seamless for your customers. The first thing you need to check, guys, is your load speed on your store. I don't care if you built it, a team built it, a great agency built it, you need to go and check out what is the load speed on your store, because if it's slow, if it doesn't instantly pop up after somebody's come from an advert, an influencer, they will be distracted and they will leave your site without ever even viewing a single product. Number two, you have to be very specific about the colors and the branding that you have on that page. You don't want to overwhelm your audience with multiple decisions because they're distracted on where to look. Your landing page, your store has to be seamless, it has to be simple, and the next actions you want the customer to take have to take priority in terms of the color, the layout, and the format of the template or whatever it is your website looks like. Super, super important. Don't overlook that. So you've got your load speed, you've got your layout. You also need to check your servers, guys. If you're spending money on traffic and it's the old cliche, sorry guys, the site's down, we had so many orders. Wow, look at us, we're so popular and there's so many people interested in our offer. But at the end of the day, that's just from being unprepared. To conclude, all of these methods are great. Paid ads, influencer marketing, making sure your website is up to standard, making sure you are choosing either to go direct to consumer with your own brand and niching down, or going mass marketing and using products which have either better features or you can bring to market cheaper to your customers. Putting all of that together, guys, I hope you took away some tips and some tricks. Honestly, the entrepreneurs we work with who have scaled their own e-commerce businesses have had life-changing experiences. We've had clients go from £20,000 a month in sales, come to us and launch all the way to 1.2 million in sales per month, month in, month out, using the exact methods that I've just told you about right here. If you want to see what kind of clients those are, go to socialagendas.com. You can see a whole bunch of case studies and testimonials from people who we've done that level of growth with. Look, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, make sure you stick around and check out one of the other videos on the channel, probably on the screen right now.